Hello and welcome back to Cars of Glasgow. Hopefully you're all keeping well. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Vauxhall Mokka X, so stay tuned. Let's go. So if we start off with the front of the Mokka, or the Mokka X, this is the facelifted version of the Mokka that came out, about 2013. So we've got the new design language, or the current design language for Vauxhall, for the daytime run lights up there. Got the griffin right in the middle. Quite a large grille. Actually it's not too bad looking a car at the front. Over into the side. You've got easy to clean wheels. I do quite appreciate alloy wheels. If they're not going to be fancy and complex, make them easy to clean. So these guys are 17-inch alloy wheels, and as you can see they'll be so easy to clean. We've got this kind of plastic cladding that's in trend to make cars look like crossover, even this is just like a Corsa based car. We've got the character line coming from the front indicator on the side panel all the way up. You can see that going across, hard to see in the white. They just have chunky SUV proportions, wraparound rear tail lights. Design's looking a little bit dated now in 2020. This kind of looks like the Vauxhall Antara Saturn View, I think it's called over in the States. Or the Chevrolet Captiva, that kind of style. Looks a little bit 2009 styling wise from the rear, but the front looks good. So we're going to jump in the car, unlock, and you hear the bolts jump up. So immediately you get that kind of high riding position that people like in this class of car. Got a blade switch key again, a little bit old fashioned for 2020. Turn it once, you get the accessory, foot in the brake. There we go. Diesel comes to life. See their gauges doing their thing. Again, we've got a white on white background here. As you can see, very clear to read. As you can see, tachometer on the left, petrol and fuel gauge in the middle, engine temperature and your speed on the right. You get a nice little instrument display in the middle here that you can cycle through. So if you want to switch through that little display here, push this menu button on the left stalk and you can cycle through various things. The digital speedo is quite handy. Being a diesel, we can't expect too much, so put the window down a bit. That little engine coming to life. Over on the right hand side here you've got your fog lights, brightness, all the good stuff for your gauge, brightness, dimmer, etc. Window switches, door lock, child lock for the windows, and then door lock. Kind of a big FUD there. So when you step inside the Mokka, you're blended with mostly horrific kind of scratchy plastics. It all just looks kind of cheap, however there is some redeeming features. They've tried to put a little bit of kind of padding vinyl just there to make it look a little bit more premium than maybe it is. Again, everything in the car is scratchy. Plastics all over the place. So yeah, it's failing the scratch test. Got a 6-speed manual gearbox. All the way, push that little lever in the back and up left. I've got audio sensors, but as you can see nothing pops up on the screen. Clutch is actually surprisingly light, which is a nice feature in a car like this. A little bit of storage in there. So I quite like the infotainment screen, as you see. Pretty fast and responsive, sat nav, telephone, all that kind of good stuff. Then here's your climate, so you can do direction of airflow at a touch of a button. Heated seats, heated steering wheel, which is a nice thing, you don't always get that, especially in a smaller car like this. Fan speed, air con, all that good stuff. Parking sensors, automatic defeat, turn that off, stability control. So everything's really easy at hand and it's not buried within anything, so that's a definite plus, especially being a rental car. You can jump in and you know where all the buttons are. Cruise controls on the left hand side of the steering wheel. The right hand side you've got your voice and your volume control. And as you can see, it's not too bad doing a version of a very wrapped steering wheel. Got a little bit of chrome accents down there. It's not too bad for everyday use. You've got a wee bit of bolstering at the 10 and 2 position. This car features a manual handbrake, which is rare and rare sight these days. Definitely in 2020 you're seeing more automatic kind of electric parking brakes. A little bit of storage down there. and two different size cup holders. Look quite deep, so that's quite good. Get a can of Coke or something in there. Do the Cars of Glasgow glove box test. As you can see, very softly damped, but very hard scratchy plastics in there and not lined with fuzzy stuff, but we'll give it a pass considering the type of car it is. I quite like the door storage in this. It's very different. We've almost got shelves. We've got a wee space there. Either there's a door handle or you can keep your keys and coins in there. Got a little bit of storage there again, and then another bit of storage cut here, very thin, so I've struggled to probably get a bottle in there, but if you can see, you probably keep your bath or something like that in there, and there's a wee bit of storage there, maybe like a bottle of water possibly would fit in there. And I don't know what you really would put in there as well, but maybe other keys or a card or something. On the right hand side, I always like cars that have a bit of storage here for your sunglasses. I think that's a really neat feature. Headlining quality, wasn't coming in here expecting much, but it's actually relatively soft plush. You can feel how squidgy that is, so give it a pass for that. Sun visors, we've got some vanity mirrors on both sides, which is a nice plus. You don't always get that in lighting. Definitely that's a nice touch that Vauxhall given us. And up above we've got the light switch, which just little halogen bulbs, which nothing too exciting, but does the job. So I'm finding the seats pretty comfortable, just sitting in the car. Got a little armrest there for the driver, so that's quite nice. They've given us that little touch. Quite widely spread, so you can sit in there comfortably. Yeah, it's quite cushy. The leather on it isn't too bad. Obviously this is a wee bit more premium than a standard one. We've got the vinyl leather. It does feel like artificial leather, just because it's a wee bit like grainy feel, but again, the type of car it is, you're not expecting the end of the world. And if you have a wee note here, you'll see that Vauxhall even put a little bit of fabric down here so the seat's not going to scratch against the plastic. So that's quite a thoughtful feature. But overall, seats are very well padded and comfortable, and you can easily wipe down as well if you've got kids in there making a mess. Jump out and have a look in the back of the car. Doors open nice and wide, which is a bonus. Scratchy plastics continue, sadly it's plastic from plastic all the way. But a redeeming feature is we've got pockets in the back, which obviously is good if you've got kids in the back, keep your iPads and things like that. Got a charger down here as well. Relatively flat load floor as well. You could probably sit 3 kids abreast, no bother. Maybe 2 adults, and then have the armrest down for a bit of comfort. You've got cup holders built in there again for road trips. Child isofix points there for the child seat, so you can just imagine coming in and clipping that in straight away. So that's pretty decent. One weird feature I found is when you're trying to fold the seats, you'd think you'd pull that and it gets stuck, but you actually have to lift this little tab here, which reminds me of my Polo from 2006. You slide that forward and that folds down, so you do that on both sides to give you quite a flat load floor, which is decent, but just a bit of a clumsy feature, especially if you're maybe got kids and stuff and try to get it folded quite quickly. A lot of cars nowadays have got that one button system in the boot, and again I've just like so. So to open the boot, there's nothing on the fob, so you just need to unlock it. Push this little button here, manually lift the boot. As you can see, quite a small boot. We've got a little weekend bag in here, so as you can see, probably 2 weekend bags, and it'll fill the boot up. And carpeted in the floor, it's actually plastic all around there. So close the boot, just manually pull that down. One little design feature, quite like the fact there's a little jet wash right up there to scoosh down in the window. And overall the rear looks chunky enough to be SUV, what buyers are wanting in this class of car. So you join me inside the exciting Mokka. We've got Mokka X even, so let's go a drive. So, first off, I'm giving it control for visibility. A-pillars are nice and thin. You can see out. Clutch, a little bit high. First off, it's kind of like a first drive impression, so let's see how we get on. you can hear engine noise. A little bit intrusive in a car, but I guess the radio's not on, but around town so far not bad. First corner, handles like most SUVs of this kind of calibre, nothing too exciting happening that way. Change it to third. Yeah, it's not too bad. Let the Peugeot go by. Foot down. Yeah, nothing too exciting happening there. Round the corner. I will say it is quite comfortable, especially around these kind of bumpy bits of the road. Yeah, it's not too bad. Definitely clutch is quite high, very light, which is good. Definitely a good car even if you're a young driver, a new driver shall I say. It reminds me of a Corsa a little bit in that respect. It's also not going to be the fastest thing in the world, and especially being a diesel, which is going the way of the dinosaur these days. Put the foot down again. Moving off again. There is almost zero engagement with regards to steering feel, but I will give it is comfortable, and it is a spacious small SUV which most people are looking for, with rivals cars such as the Renault Captur or even Ford EcoSport stroke Puma, depending on which generation of Mokka X you're looking at. I would say it's, from my experience, the Puma and the new Nissan Juke are pretty decent. I'll leave the link for the Juke video below. That is a almost different beast. It does feel like a generation ahead of this. This does feel a bit like last decade with regards to how it drives, the feel of the car. Things like you've not got a camera in the car, huge C-pillars, so without the, unless it's got parking sensors, but if you didn't have those sensors it would be quite tough to park this car. But when giving it the pros, so the pros of this car: comfortable on the road, spacious enough, wide seats, high riding position. Negative, build quality could be better. You could have a little bit more insulation possible to make it a little bit quieter, a little bit firmer and agricultural, especially with that diesel engine, and there's just that little bit of feeling in it behind it. Very lackluster steering. So cabin quality could be a little bit better in the Mokka. A little bit scratchy plastic fantastic, some would say. On the inside, I think things like the new Nissan Juke do a little bit of a better job with regards to that. However, the ride's pretty comfortable. You've got those thick wheels in comparison to, obviously I drove a top of the range Nissan Juke that had thin sidewall tyres that are a bit firmer riding. You're not buying this for speed, and it's definitely not going to reward you in any way for that. So I just want to say thanks very much for watching my video on the Vauxhall Mokka. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel below, comment any questions you may have, and also check me out on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao.